Good morning. Welcome to this 20-minute class. Today we're going to focus on building some core strength. So come on down onto the mat in a comfortable seated position. Let's take a moment just to connect body, mind and breath. So either cross-legged or legs out in front, whatever works for you. Bring the hands together in prayer, closing your eyes and starting to take a few deep breaths in and out through the nose. Notice as you come into stillness how the mind starts to calm. This is something we can do any day, any time. If you can't breathe out through the nose comfortably, then breathe out through the mouth. Now take a deep breath in and then exhale out through the mouth and open the eyes. Give the hands a bit of a shake out. Maybe switch the leg position. We're going to do some overhead stretches. So bring your hands beside your hips. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, bring your hands to heart. Shake it out. Inhale, reach up, look up to the thumbs, and exhale, bring the hands down to the chest. So your own rate of breath, your own movement, you time it. Just making sure you've just shake out the shoulders a little bit so that you release the tension out of the shoulders. Feel a stretch through the front of the body. Now come into some side stretches. So we inhale, we reach the arm up. We exhale, we bend the elbow. Inhale reaches the arm up, and then exhale releases the hand. So there's 2 breaths per side, keeping the hips onto the floor and keeping the shoulders over the hips, looking under the armpit. And we always go to the right side first, and then the left, and we finish with the left. So keep going at your own pace. Reaching tall and then bending, stretching, feeling the stretch from hip to wrist. And this is where we start to practice a mindful breathing. One breath, one movement. We slow everything down and become in the zone. And make that the last one. Come into a comfortable cross-legged position now. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder work. So when you're ready, bring your hands out, shoulder height, palms facing down, and we're twisting. So we're twisting to the right, twisting to the left. Breathing out as you twist and breathing in as you come to center. Keeping both hips on the floor. Feel the work in the core. Shoulders are staying high but away from the ears. So it's easy to drop the hands. We don't want to do that. We're working the shoulders. We're starting to warm them up. And we're also warming up through the whole digestive area, through the core. So just going at your own pace. Eye gaze can be over the shoulder. Getting a bit of effort into the neck as well. Alright, check it out. Well done. Scoot on onto tabletop. So bring the cushion away. Hands under shoulders and knees under hips. Start to move through cat-cow to open up through the spine. So as we inhale, we look up, and as we exhale, we tuck chin to chest. Inhale, look up, exhale, chin to chest. Feel a movement all the way through the spine, from the neck to the tailbone, getting that flow going through. Keeping the arms straight, not moving the arms, so we're moving the shoulders, the neck, upper back, lower back, mid back. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. let's engage the core. Let's start to work it. So right leg behind, tuck the toes, strong in the right knee, push through the hands and hover the left knee off the floor. Breathe, keep the legs strong and straight. The work is in the core. It's not the leg holding you up, it's the core holding the leg up. And swap over to the other side, left leg behind, tuck the toes, pull the kneecap up, hover the right knee off the floor. Eye gaze directly down to the mat, so not using the neck as a lever. And relax. Okay, let's come into a little recovery. So toes together, knees wide, extended child's pose. Hips go back towards the heels. Walk the hands either forward, or you can bend the elbows and place the hands under the head, forehead on either the hands or the floor for support. Feel a stretch in the lower back. Nice release for the lower back. And also for the belly. Relaxing the belly. Bit of a massage for the digestive system as the belly relaxes onto the thighs. Let the heart rate come back down. Okay, when you're ready, come on back up for round 2. Hands under shoulders. Right leg up behind, tuck the toes and hover the left knee off the floor. 5 breaths, long and slow. Feel the core strength building. Shaking's fine. And release and come to the other side. Left foot behind. And when you're ready, hover the right knee off the floor. And release. Well done. So this time let's come into child's pose with knees together. So hips go back. Again, either arms forward, or you can bend the elbows and bring the hands under the head so that you can rest the forehead on the hands. Eyes closed. Long, slow breaths. Take a moment to recover. When we're doing strength work, we need to take the time to recover. It's an important part of the practice. When you're ready, we're going to come now into a low lunge. So what we've done in previous weeks, step the right foot forward, lean into it, and reach the arms overhead. So feel a stretch in through the front of the left hip flexor. See if you can bring your eye gaze up to your thumbs. Stretch elbows close to ears. Back foot flat, not gripping on with the toes. Now we're going to twist the lunge. So use the hands for support, lift up into a high lunge. Hands to heart, and when you're ready, left elbow over right knee, push the hands, palms of the hands together, raise the right shoulder and right elbow, keep the back legs straight and strong. Eye gaze can be down to the mat, across to the wall or up over your shoulder. You play with it but keep breathing. And then come on out, bring the knee down, swap the legs over. Let's come into a stretch for the arms first. Okay, so bring the fingers facing outwards and nice and wide, and pull the elbows so the eyes of the elbows are coming in towards each other. A little bit of a stretch for the wrists. We've been doing a bit of work on the wrists. And now let's come to the other side. Now step the left foot forward. Low lunge on the left side. Reach the arms overhead. Flat back foot, stretch through the front of the right hip flexor. Steady eye gaze. Keep breathing. And then bring the hands down to the floor for support. Lift the back leg. We'll come into a high twisted lunge. Hands to heart. And when you're ready, right elbow over left knee. Turn. Lift the right shoulder, left elbow up. Strong in the back leg. Engage the core, so belly button to spine. Make sure you've got good strength in the core working. Hands back to floor, knee back to floor. Shake out the wrists. Turn now the hands palm up, very gently. Small muscles, small bones in the wrists, so be very gentle, one hand at a time, stretching it out. Now swap to the other side. See if you can get all the fingers to the floor, so all the fingernails to the floor. Fingers are wide and stretched wide. And shake it out. Well done. Come on down, so scoot yourself back so that you can get onto the mat, and let's come into Sphinx pose. So feet are flat, elbows under shoulders, palms facing down. Looking up, stretching, so feel a stretch from the front, right through the front of the body as you lift the chin and chest up, looking up, and then release, come to a neutral. Let's come into a low plank, so either palms to the floor or you can grip your hands together, tuck the toes, lift the knees off the floor, and then when you're ready, push the elbows into the floor, lift the hips off the floor. Not too high, we want to be a plank, we don't want to be a V-shaped bridge. Flat, eyes straight down, lengthening through the whole body. So push the heels back, feel the length through the body, 5 breaths, and then release. This time we're going to come back into Sphinx, but we're dropping the head now and feel a stretch in the back of the neck. Get a release for the neck. When we do core, we often use our neck instead of our core. So we want to stretch out the neck area. Make sure we're not putting tension into the neck. Great. Come on back, round 2. When you're ready, low lunge. Come on up. 5 breaths. Or feel free to pause and take longer. If this is not comfortable, then you can drop to the knees, but keep the core engaged. Now let's do a little recovery and a stretch for the neck. So lying flat on your stomach, turn so that you can bring your right ear to the floor. Feel a stretch in the neck. Relax the shoulders. Feel a stretch and opening through the upper back. And before you move, lift the shoulders and then turn, drop your head. Now left ear to floor and then open up, drop the shoulders to the floor. Feel a stretch in the neck and shoulders. Now come back to center, bring the hands under the shoulders. Then now slide the hands forward and raise the right leg off the floor. Point the toes, chin on the floor. Keep the chin and hands on the floor and point through, stretch, breathe. And release. Lift the left leg off the floor, point through the toes, feel a stretch. Just working the hips, hip strength. So when we talk core, we talk from hips to shoulders, not just the belly. Bring the hands down now beside the hips, palms facing up, and let's come back into that neck stretch again this time. So right elbow, right ear to floor. Lift the shoulders, turn, look to the other side. So now left ear to floor. Take the moment, take the recovery. Let everything integrate itself. When you're ready, come chin to floor. Use the hands for support to push you back up. We're coming all the way over. Come into a seated position. Let's come into butterfly pose. A little bit of a stretch for the inner thigh. Why wouldn't we? So elbows onto the shins. leaning forward but keeping the chin high, so we're not dropping the head down, we're keeping a flat back. And bring the knees together, shake it out a little bit. Let's come into boat pose. So hands onto knees, sitting tall, hover the knees off the floor, and then bring the hands off the knees. Keep lifting the chin, chest. We don't want to dump into the lower back, so we're using the core for 5 breaths. Cross the legs now as you come out with the left first and then the right, a little bit of a stretch for the glutes. Walk your hands forward, bring the hands to the floor and then maybe the elbows to the floor. Feel the stretch deep into the left and right hip. Okay, round 2 of boat pose. Come on back up, take a moment, up onto the toes, then lift the legs up, see if you can bring them up to knee height, and then take the hands off the knees, stretching them forward, lifting tall, strengthening, classic core strength, breathing, shaking's fine, and this time cross the legs, right leg first, left leg second, and lean forward, hands to floor, then maybe elbows to floor, maybe even head to hands, who knows. Stretching it out. And come on back up, give it a shake out. One last core exercise, bridge. So bring the knees bent, feet as close as you can to your butt. Hands on the floor for support. Lift the hips high. Push the heels into the floor. Relax the butt cheeks. And we're using the hamstring strength here. And stretching out through the core. Keep breathing. Make sure the head is on the floor and the neck is in a neutral position. And release down. Want to challenge it either the same, or you can bring the feet together and then lift the hips high again. This time you can bring the right leg out, point the toes, keep the knees together, so don't lift the leg high. Again, left hamstring at the moment, so relax the butt cheeks, relax the glutes, and then swap to the other side. So now left leg goes out, knees together, keeping the hips pushing up. Keep breathing and release. Well done. Take a moment, shake it out, stretch it out, and let's twist just to ease everything off. So let's go right leg over the top onto the left knee, drop the hips over to the right, and then look over the left shoulder, hands out at shoulder height for support. A little bit of a spinal twist, but also a bit of into the hip as well, front of the hip stretch. All the hard work's done now. And swap to the other side, so left foot on top of the right knee, drop the knees over to the left, and then look over the right shoulder. Both shoulders are on the floor. Twisting down through the spine and the hips. Well done. Okay, stretch it out. Come into a flat back, bringing the palms of the hands facing up, and then just start to move it, a little bit of a snow angel. Move it up, keeping the elbows on the floor, shoulders on the floor, wrists on the floor, fingers on the floor. So take your time, a little bit of, and small adjustments to keep everything on the floor. Big stretch through the front of the chest, through the shoulders, opening up through the shoulders. Close your eyes and breathe. And then after a few breaths, maybe moving your hands up a little bit further, a little higher, a little bit further, opening it for the chest area. Maybe adjusting down through the hips, through the legs, through the shoulders, and then maybe raising up a little bit. If you feel any tingling, any nerve sensations, then come out. We don't want to be trying to stretch nerves. We don't want to pinch a nerve. So if there's any tingling, any numbness, then definitely move your arms back. Only go to where that stretch is comfortable. Don't go beyond that. And take your time. Now bring the hands back down. Bring your hands onto your lower ribs for support. Just shake it out, and elbows on the floor. Just relax. Feel that stretch, that nicely realigned spine. All the hard work that's been done, it's now being integrated into your body. Eyes are closed. When you're ready, bend the left knee to roll over onto your right side. Take a moment here. Just let the blood pressure reset itself. And then come on up to a nice comfortable seated position. Hands to knees. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. And then just settle into it for a moment. As I said, integration is a big part of this practice. Notice how you feel now after this 20 minutes. And when you're ready, bring your hands together in prayer. Take a deep breath in. Big breath out. Gently bow the head to open the eyes. Namaste. Well done. Thank you.